What's going on, everybody? It's me, Joel Simmons, back again for another It Starts With Me. We've got a great guest today, young lady who is just amazing. Can't wait to hear this story that she has about how she has created a business and traveling the world, just starting up in the world. So this is going to be extremely interesting. So I can't wait to get into it. But before we get there, let's talk about a few other things. Number one, It Starts With Me. We are here every single Wednesday at 12:30 p.m. over here on the Eastern side. All right. So please come on, join in with us. You know what it's all about. It's people going through transitional phenomenons and taking advantage of time and chance. And we get to hear these interesting stories about how entrepreneurs, CEOs, and individuals are making these phenomenal movements inside of their life and creating a brand new trajectory, which brings them fulfillment, happiness, and joy. So please tune in every single Wednesday, 12:30. On Fridays, we have the Community Beacon, where myself and my co-host, Michael Seville, are there to bring light on many different things. So our idea is to share the lessons that we've learned with people everywhere so that they may be able to make the best decisions possible and open their mind up to a more freer altitude where they can achieve the highest level possible of their own selves and then even excel from there. So please tune in with us. We'll be there at 6:30 p.m. You'll be able to find us on YouTube, right? Tenacity Foundation. All right. And then also Mike has a show on Mondays. All right. It's called What It Takes. And this is the new name that he has, but I think that it is extremely appropriate. Mike is giving you what it takes to be successful. He is a business mogul and he is also the real estate king. So please check him out every single Monday, 9 o'clock p.m. He'll be airing on his own YouTube station, Michael Seville. All right, let's go ahead and get into this. We have with us today Emme Chadwick, and she is the owner of Immersively Created LLC. All right, the business is registered in Arizona, but just wait because she is operating out of Japan. Yes! Don't you just want to go there? Wait until you hear about this young 23-year-old lady who is killing it in her industry. She grew up in Portland, Oregon, and she always knew that she wanted to have her own business. She set out to become a freelancer and gave herself 5 years. She gave herself a timeline, 5 years to start her company. And within 4 years, she founded Immersively Created. She was only 22 years when she did this. And now she is operating overseas. Her business is a media and web design company that supports small businesses, solopreneurs, and bigger enterprises. I can't wait to hear about this story. We welcome to the front Emme Chadwick. All right.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It is a late night for you.
Yeah, it's 11 p.m. over here, so it's relatively late.
I love it. What time do you normally go to sleep?
I go to sleep pretty late, so I go to bed at like 10:30 maybe, so I'm just a little bit past my bedtime right now.
Okay. All right. So I don't have you up too late.
Yeah.
Well, I definitely thank you for being on this show with us, and we're definitely grateful to have you. How has your week been going?
It's been going good. Staying busy, I'm like it's Wednesday for me today, so I'm halfway through. Just gotta make it till Friday. Start the weekend.
Is that how it is sometimes? You just got to make it through.
Yeah, sometimes, you're just like, oh man, like I just want a day off. I just want the weekend to get here so I can relax.
Yeah. I definitely understand that. I don't know about you, but most of the times I don't take my full weekend off. I mean, just in the life of an entrepreneur, it just seems like there's always a little more to be done. One more booking, one more call, one more book to read, just a little bit more always.
Yeah, yeah, and yeah, I 100% agree with that. You start to feel a little bit burnt out after a while because I don't know, like I have to allow myself to have the break. You know what I mean? I have to like, no, Emmy, you're gonna sit down, you're gonna relax. Not everything's about work. It's okay. So yeah, I get that.
I love it. For me, I found that it becomes a little bit easier because I have children, so I just want to be around them and I want to be around my wife. So that's an opportunity. And my dog.
Yeah.
And my dog. So they kind of like force me into short breaks. Not to mention, Anna is great for sending me a text message in the middle of the day saying, "Hey, don't forget to take a break."
We all need that one person that like tells us like, hey, you're okay to just like relax for a minute. We need that one person to tell us. We just do.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. So who is your one person?
My husband, actually. He's very good at just being like, it's okay. We can go get food. Like, it's all right. You can step away from your computer for a minute. And I'm like, oh yeah, okay, that's right. I forget the world like exists outside of like my little office, you know?
So that's funny that you said that. You're like, it's okay, we can go get food. This is real life entrepreneurial things, y'all. I mean, it's like sometimes Emmy, I actually brought my sandwich with me. I have it with me. I have a Publix sandwich. I don't know if you remember Publix. I have a Publix sub here with me because we are crushing it today. And it's like, you're right. It's, sometimes you just need someone to, just kind of like poke you in the side, like, hey, listen, you can go out to eat today. You can kind of like get away.
Yeah, yeah, you can live life. It's okay. I have a snack drawer, so I get like the whole like eating at your desk thing. Like that is me 100%. Like I buy in bulk, I just got my little snacks. So so I get it. I get it. I feel you on your sandwich there.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So tell me a little bit more about yourself because you're young, you're bright, you're brilliant, you're married, you've moved from the States to, Japan. I mean, tell me what is going on?
Oh man. Just so many things. Like I don't even know where to start, you know what I mean? So I guess it all just kind of went a little crazy with this whole move to Japan. So my husband, he's in the military, but at the time when we found out he was going to Japan, we had just been friends for like 4 years or so. I had like a bad breakup, and he talked me through it, being so supportive. And we started dating and like 2 months later, I'm not kidding you, 2 months later we're like, well, we have to get married because like I want you to come to Japan with me. And I was like, sure, let's do it, and I kid you not, we went to Vegas, we got married by Elvis himself.
I love it.
And we actually didn't tell anybody that we had gotten
Yo,
married
okay.
because one, it was like middle of pandemic, right? So like nobody could come anyways, but we're like, man, they're gonna think we're crazy. And like both of our moms are Hispanic. And if you grow up with a Hispanic mom and you tell her, hey, I started dating this person 2 months ago, we're getting married, like that's not going over well. So we're just like, okay, we'll keep it like a secret, it'll be fine. It didn't last long, the secret, everyone found out, we're not very good at hiding it. So we started this journey. We had only been married for like 6 months now, and he got orders to Japan, so we moved to Japan. And that's kind of how it started. It was like the most chaotic 6 months of like marriage. Like our first 6 months was just like planning our move and like packing everything, making sure our dog could come, so like it was just so chaotic that first like 6 months. And during that time I was also like working for a company that kind of sparked like this fire in me to like start my own business. So they were like, okay, yeah, you know, everything's fine. Like, move to Japan. We got your back. We'll keep you on. Like, you're too valuable for us to lose. And I was like, oh, sweet. This is like the perfect setup. You know, like I could keep doing what I'm doing. It was going great. I was on the plane to Japan. And I tell everyone this story because it's just like so crazy. And I had like my coworker like blowing up my phone. And that's like never a good sign, you know? And I like saw it on my layover and she's like, I just got locked out of like all of the accounts. Something's going on. I don't know what's happening. And I was like, I don't know what's happening. Like, I'm just flying, you know, like, I don't know. And so I landed and they emailed me a termination packet.
What?
And it was completely out of nowhere. All right. And this was like my first time being like fired. So I was like sobbing, right? I was like so sad that like this had happened. And they didn't call me, you know, they didn't like, you know, set me up with like a good morning and then like the termination packet. No, I just got the packet. And I was like, I had like a million questions in my mind, but I was like, okay, well, I guess this is like kind of my sign, you know, to like start completely fresh now. You know, I'm in a new country. Now is like, what else am I doing? You know what I mean? Like, oh, like, what else am I doing? Because I just got fired. So I might as well like start to really build this business. And it had like kind of been in the works for a couple years before I like started it. And I was really just kind of like nailing down my plan, you know what I mean? And like getting the experience that I needed to start. So it was like, I mean, everything happens for a reason. It's kind of like what I think. And I think that this firing, no matter how sad I was, like, I feel like that definitely happened for a reason to kind of give me that extra like kick, you know, to be like, oh man, all right, let's do it. So yeah, that's my crazy, crazy story of landing here in Japan.
That's powerful. That is extremely powerful. And that's really what the show is about, you know, these moments inside of our life where we can either go left or go right. Just everything changes for us immediately. And then you take the chance to do something, to make a choice and to go with it. You know, and there's an old saying, whenever one door closes, another door opens. But sometimes people, they don't see it as another door opening. And it's just, it's something else because you saw that. You saw the door opening for you.
Yeah, I have some help. Some help, you know, because I was sad. I was, you know, I was feeling a little sorry for myself. I was like, you know, I just kind of slipped into this stage where I'm like, oh man, like I had this dream job and now I live all the way over here. And my husband, I always say like he's like my little co-owner because he pushed me. He was like, no, like, what are you doing? Like, it's okay. And like he kind of gave me like that realization to kind of be like, okay, yeah, no, like this is fine. We got this. We're doing it. We're fine. And so I had the assistance of him. I got to give him credit. You know, I got to give credit where it's due. So
I love it.
he helped me a little bit with that.
I love it. I love it. So how long was that phase that you felt, you know, really extremely let down? And I mean, what was that? Walk us through that, your husband kind of like boosting your morale.
Yeah. So we'll get into it. So I have like struggled with depression since I was like a kid, right? So having this like happen to me and moving to Japan and like losing like all of my family and like support system, I felt like completely isolated. So I just kind of slipped back, not kind of, I definitely slipped back into that super depressive state. And I was like not taking my medication because like I was like, I'm fine. I can do it without it, you know? So I slipped into this huge depression phase for a good like 6 months. Like I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. It was a long time. And the only reason it got better is because one, I was like, I realized like, okay, I'm not doing it. Like I need to change something, you know? So obviously like I started going back to therapy again. And then like I had my husband, like you said, boosting my morale. Like, you got this. It's okay. You're doing fine for where you're at right now. You're doing okay. Like you'll start what you need to start when it's time, basically. You know what I mean?
Mm.
So I got my mindset together, because you got to be in like the right mindset for that. So I got my mindset together. And once I felt healthy, like mentally and like okay, I was like, okay, let's do this. Let's do it.
That's powerful, because there's going to be many people who have gone through the same thing. Even myself, I suffered from depression at a younger age, and I had a bout of depression just a couple of weeks ago, and it lasted for a couple of weeks. It was, matter of fact, I came out of it just last week. For me, it was a lot of buildup of pressures and different things, but just like you said, I looked at it differently. It was all about my mindset. And so I was able to navigate through it relatively quickly, I think. But being in that position, having everything working out for you, the job saying, oh, we're going to support you, this is going to be great. And it's like you're going up in the air, you're on a high,
Yeah.
right? I mean, you're on a high. You're literally going up in the air, and you're also on this high, like new man, new world, new house, got my dog, my job, I'm doing
Got
this,
all
man.
of it. Yeah.
Got it all. And then as you come back down, it's like bring you back down to earth. Yeah, you got all these things, but now you're not going to have money to support yourself. You don't have this career. Your friend obviously got wrapped up in this some kind of way because she was locked out of everything. And so I'm sure there's a story behind that. And it's like, did it feel kind of like a crash and burn?
Yeah, to put it gently. I felt like a crash and burn for sure. Because, like you said, I was like on top of the world. I was like, man, I think I was like 21 when I started with them. So I was like, man, like I'm 21. And I was like head of their like design team and like video stuff. So I was like, man, I've got like my own department. Like this is insane. And like I hadn't finished my degree yet, even. So I was like, wow, like I'm pretty cool. Like, I was like, man, I'm pretty cool. Like I was patting myself on the back. And then yeah, I crashed and burned. Just like all of a sudden, and like that job was brutal. So maybe it was it definitely was for the best, because I was working like 16-hour days, and they would be like, hey, we need like a website done. And I'd be like, oh, I'm just a graphic designer. I don't do web design. And then I kind of just like learned on the fly and had to do like WordPress in a day, and it was just horrible. So maybe it was for the best, It was the crash and burn was okay.
Well, yeah, you survived,
Yeah.
you survived. There was a certain, have you ever seen the movie Unbreakable?
Oh, I think so. Yeah.
It was like Bruce Willis. It's a series of movies, but Bruce Willis was considered to be unbreakable. Like he could not die. And then there was this guy called Mr. Glass, who was Samuel L. Jackson. And Samuel L. Jackson believed so much that because he was breakable, like no matter what he did, if he tripped, he'd shatter multiple bones all over the place. He was crippled all his life. So he believed in these comics so that there had to be this exact opposite. And that was the unbreakable. So he would do devastating things like derail trains, blow up buildings, cause planes to fall out of the sky just to find the unbreakable. Countless people die because of him.
Yeah.
And in this, I don't know how.
It's okay. It's
fine. So he calls him, he does all these things, and he's like, tells Bruce Willis, he's like, yeah, you remember flight number, whatever it is, that was me. You're the only one to survive. And like, that is you, the crash and burn, and you're like just coming out, the smoke's behind you, the fire's going up like this, and you're just like walking out like, yeah, I got this. Maybe not immediately.
Yeah, I was like, it felt like I was limping a little bit. It felt like I was limping out of that for a minute.
Yeah, but if we were to make a movie out of it, you definitely would be doing like the superhero pose when you came out of that thing.
Oh yeah. I would do the whole like, superhero stance and everything. Yeah. For sure.
I love it. But and this is the thing. Somebody is listening to this, or will be listening to this, and they're gonna be thinking, they're on top of the world, and then something like this can happen to them. Like, you are a breath of fresh air. You are encouragement, because not only is your business up and running, and we want to get into that, but you survived all that and you dealt with your depression. You made all this. I mean, like, you're like, okay, I'm not dealing with this well. So you went to therapy, you listened to your husband, you reacclimated yourself with your business. Like, these are power moves. And you did it in 6 months.
Well, now I feel all empowered. Like, yeah, okay.
Yes. I mean, Emme, think about it. People are suffering from depression for years, for decades. They're unable to do what you did in 6 months.
Yeah. I feel like everyone's got their path, though. I mean, like, I was diagnosed since I was a kid, so I kind of feel that. I feel like the dealing with it for years, because it went so untreated for so long, and I wasn't an adult. I was like an adult when I finally like got help. So I understand like where people are coming from. It's tough. It's hard. It's hard to mentally to just get up off the couch or just up out of bed. Just like simple basic things that like we just take for granted, I feel like sometimes. I don't know.
Powerful. So tell us, give 1, 2, maybe even 3 things that you did to simply get up off the couch.
That's a good question. Sometimes it would be just so simple things like, okay, like I would have to plan it. Like, this is going to sound so strange, but like I had to plan it like the night before, right? To like prepare myself mentally for what the day was going to be. So I'd be like, okay, I'm going to take a shower at 11 a.m. That is like the time I'm giving myself. I have to take a shower at 11. And if it's 12 and I haven't taken it yet, okay, like I just have to do it sometime during the day, but I would like to do it at 11, right? So I gave myself that flexibility so I didn't feel like pressure, And then it would be something like, okay, I will prep dinner and this is what I'm going to be making for dinner. Like I had to meal plan because otherwise I just wouldn't do it. I just like wouldn't cook and I just like wouldn't eat the best. So I'd be like, okay, this is what I'm making. This is the stuff I got to set out. I want to start dinner by this time. This is what we're going to do. And then my dog, she's the real MVP because I had to get out of bed to take her outside. So she is pretty much the only reason why I would get out of bed in the morning. I mean, granted, I would just go to the couch, but I would move from the bed to the couch. So I feel like that's some progress. And my dog, yeah, she's crazy, but she's helped me through some times. So she was like, I got your back. We'll go out in the mornings. So that's another thing I had to do.
Awesome. So like those are 2 things. And I just want to lay it out there. So 2 things that helped you to just get up was 1, preparation the night before, making preparation. So, if somebody's going through depression, understand this, that some of the things that we can do on our own is make preparations the day before and then do our very best to follow through. We owe it to ourselves, right? Mm-hmm. And then the next thing is an accountability partner, which was for you, it was your doggy, right? Your doggy kept you accountable.
Yeah, she did. She kept me accountable for sure. And I feel like it's important to note that it's okay. Like I had to tell myself this, like I had to like do affirmations, and I had to be like, it's okay if I'm not okay today. That's okay. If all I do is rest and like get my mental like going, that's okay. So I had to constantly remind myself like, it's okay to be going through this and to work through it and to try to do better. Like, so I don't know. That's kind of something I thought about quite often.
That's powerful. That's powerful, because one of the issues with depression is that we don't feel like it's okay. It's
Yep.
not okay to feel the way that I feel. It's not okay. So we beat ourselves down. And so this was one of the things that I was going through just a few weeks ago. I was saying the exact same thing. I was like, okay, this is what I'm going through. It's okay to feel like this.
Mhm.
What am I going to do to get myself to the next level? And that's a powerful statement. I mean, I don't even know if you realize how many gems you're dropping,
Oh no, I
because
don't. I'm just talking. I don't know.
your life is an inspiration, right? Because people don't, they beat themselves down so much, especially when suffering from depression. That's part of the depression, is always feeling like it's not okay to be that individual. But your mindset was that I gave myself positive affirmation that it is okay to not be okay, as long while I'm working this out. So I'm working this out, and I'm not going to always be all right, but that's okay because I'm working this out.
Mm-hmm.
That's powerful.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yes. Your inspiration. Your inspiration. By the time we're finished, you'll have a book to write. All right. So,
That's the goal.
and then I think one more thing would probably be that you confided in somebody else, like your husband and a therapist, right?
Yes, yes. My husband, I know like everybody says this about their spouse, right? Like, oh, they're amazing, right? At least I hope they do. But like my husband, man, he is like there. He's like number one hype man, it doesn't matter what it is. He's like, yeah, let's do it. We're doing it. And he was my best friend for like 4 years before we even started like getting together. So he's the real one. I don't know. He's my bestie.
That's good. That's good. I think that that's really important on a whole nother level for people that are preparing themselves to get married. Sometimes people go out and they're just looking for, oh, she's hot, oh, he's handsome. And it's all of these things that are on the outside. But marrying your best friend, it means that you've married into a relationship that you already are committed to. And it just changes the way that you develop together. So I think that that's beautiful. Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a challenge. It was a challenge to find him. So I'm glad that I did.
And he was there all along.
I know. Y'all could call me crazy because I probably was, but like, yeah, I'm grateful for him and finding him finally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. That's so funny. That's awesome. That's awesome. So, all right, let's move on to some more business things, right?
Yes.
So now, after you kick depression in the teeth, you wore them out, you brought the plane down, you beat up depression, you smacked them around and threw them inside the jail cell. He said, I'm free, throw away the key, right?
Right.
Now it's like, build this business. Where do you get the money? Where do you get the gumption to actually create something out of nothing?
Yeah. That's the real question. I don't know. Like I want to say that the gumption, the guts probably came from just, I don't know, life experiences maybe. And the money I fund it myself. So like I'll be working, right? So I in the beginning, oh my goodness, in the beginning I worked full time to support the start of the business. And I continued that for a while. I switched to part-time recently. So I fund it all myself, but there are many ways to fund a business, many ways. You could get a small business loan, you could get an angel investor, you could have donations. There's so many different ways to do it. I just chose to do it myself. I don't know why, actually, but it made the most sense to me at the time. So that's kind of what I was doing.
Okay. And that's still happening, because you were doing full time, and now recently you just switched to part time.
Mm-hmm. Yep. While I build it out, because I
So you
started this business in February
of 22 or 21?
of 22.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah, so I'm brand new.
Awesome. That's great. That's great. All right. That is awesome. So now, but you've already scaled up in your business and down in your workforce, in your
Yeah.
career.
Yeah.
And that's taken 4 months.
Yeah. I didn't realize it was 4 months, but yeah. Yeah, I guess so.
I'm picking up on all these things. For
You're
you,
doing great because like I'm just like talking. So
I love this. I love having you on here. I'm so glad that you and Anna had set this up, because it's not so often. I mean, we have some major CEOs that are running, multi-million dollar firms and things like that. And we don't always get somebody who is creating this thing as they go along with such tenacity like yourself. And so much gumption that it's just like, hey, listen, I got this. If I don't got this, I'll figure it out because I got this. And that's your attitude.
yeah, kind of. I kind of just like fake it till I make it, And so far it's worked. So I don't know. This is a good strategy so far.
I think that you're believing it until it actualizes. I don't think you're faking. I think that you
That's a
have
better
this.
way of saying it. Yeah. That was way more inspirational.
You've got this deep down. You've got like, it's like a flame. I'm looking at the lights behind you, but you're the main attraction. You are the main attraction.
I try. I do
Yeah.
try.
Well, it's working. It's working because you have scaled down a career, and that means you must be scaling up your business. And to do that in 4 months is extremely impressive. But not only that, you're not even doing it on like American soil.
Yeah.
You're in a whole new world. This is like the Bible story. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a whole thing. Because you got the time differences. We talked about this. It's like what, 10 a.m. over there for you right now?
Yes.
10:30? Yeah, it's 11 p.m. for me. So time differences can be a struggle. Sometimes I'll have meetings at like 3 a.m. So it is hard, but I do tailor my advertising to US just because my Japanese it's not good. It's not quite good yet. So, so I can't offer like copywriting services and I'm like terrible at Japanese, you know? So
Yeah.
I don't know. It comes with a unique set of challenges that I don't think I would have faced in the States for sure.
Awesome. Awesome. So glad you said that, because so many times, when people are opening up their business, they're like, but you've never had to deal with this, and I think that it's important to understand that every single business, relationships in general come with their own set of unique challenges, and it's
Yeah,
up to us to
100%.
be able to deal with whatever those things are.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. And that's why I like working. That's why I tailored my business to small businesses, other small business owners. I did that for several reasons. One, since I was a freelancer, I always worked with startups pretty much. I loved it. I don't know why, but I just like love to see the growth in it. And I grew up in Portland, and it wasn't the best neighborhood to grow up in. So there was tons of mom and pop shops and small businesses that were just absolutely amazing. Like the food, man, it's just underrated. These like little mom and pop shops, And I was like, man, they could make so much money with the right, I don't know, the right person, I guess, to market them. But most of the time they don't have the funds because this is mom and pop. So I really, really, really believe in tailoring my services that are usually very expensive to small businesses and creating it in packages to kind of like reinvent it a little bit to make sure that it's all inclusive. You don't just get social media or just a website. No. If you pay for a package, you'll get, all of these different things. And I think that helps small businesses get started on that marketing side and get going, because I feel like that's what small businesses need sometimes.
I agree with you. I agree with you. And I think that as you're doing that, sharing a piece of your story also will help them to be inspired. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because a lot of it takes a mindset, you know. It's
Yeah.
not.
I just think there's so many hardworking people. I don't know. Like, you know what I mean? Like in these I mean, like I grew up in poverty. So in these areas, but they're so hardworking. They're so dedicated, you know. And in the Hispanic community, I saw, you know, people getting up at 4 a.m. and not coming back home until 10 o'clock at night. And I think they also, my community growing up, inspired me to have the dedication that I have now. Because I'm like, man, they pushed, they worked, they did what they had to do, you know. So I think that kind of translated a little bit into my adult life.
I agree. I was just in my notes, I was just taking that down as where you got your gumption from. And then all of a sudden you're like, you were inspired by mom and pop stores. You grew up in poverty and you saw people, getting up at 4 and going until 10 to make sure that their dreams happen, because their dreams matter, their aspirations matter. So I agree with you. I think that that's a lot of where, that crash and burn experience was not the end of you. It was like, you know what? I've seen this before. I can do whatever I need to do. I can be whoever I need to be. I got it in me.
Yeah, yeah. And my mom, she pushed us a lot. She was a single mom. There's four of us, so I grew up with three brothers. And she was just the epitome of hard work. She would sneak off to a second job at night, and she wouldn't tell us. I didn't even know about it until I was a teenager. And just to be able to provide us with, basic things, or little science fair things that we wanted, and she wanted to be able to give that to us. And I think her pushing me, at the time I was like, Mom, like, oh my goodness, why are you on my case, but now as an adult, I'm like, yeah, she knew what she was doing, and she'll tell you that. She's like, yeah, I knew what I was doing all along. No, but she inspired me quite a bit as well to push.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And as we're going through life, there's many people, maybe even parents that may be watching this, to hear you, at the age of 23, to come back and say, that your mom inspired you by pushing you and by, quote unquote, getting on your case. I think that that is impactful too, because, I mean, I was 15, 14, whatever, and my mother got on my case too. And I was like, I don't think so, Mom. That's not going to work. But then when I got older, when I hit like, 22, I was like, or 21 or even 20, I was like, whoa, life just started to hit me. And,
And it doesn't stop for no one.
It does not stop at all, right? It's like, and then in the background, she's like, yep. And it's like, all of a sudden you begin to realize that that period of time, those 7 years or whatever it was, from like the age of 12 or 11 up to 18, were so impactful on you. And had it not been for, a mom in your case, a mom in my case, then maybe we would not have turned out to be the individuals we are.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. 100%. Yeah. There's nothing else to say on that, because like I agree. Like I think that, like, I don't know how to say it. Like some people don't grow up having their moms on their case. They grow up a little bit privileged, which is fine. That's their journey. But for me, I didn't have that privilege. My mom was like, you get 50 cents if you clean the entire kitchen, and that's your allowance. So with that though, those lessons taught me hard work. And, so I think that directly is in line with what you're talking about, because I agree with you. At least it shapes us.
Beautiful. And that's the reason why you are who you are today. And the reason why you're building your success like you are.
trying to do my thing.
I think you are. I think you're doing it. Like I said, if you in 4 months you're scaling your business, I think that that's a powerful thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd like to think it's a pretty good business. So, I really enjoy what I do as well. I have a passion for what I do. I love doing what I do. I'm self-taught on graphic design and video stuff. And that came from passion because I wanted to learn. So I absolutely am fully invested in this business and the people that I work with. I'm very grateful for the people I work with.
You are balling.
yeah, I'm balling. So and that's
it.
that.
That's that. Yeah. And when I say balling, I mean be all in.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
You are
yeah.
balling. You are all in, and that's how people have to be when they're opening up their business. They have to be balling. They have to be all in, 100%. Listen, what exactly are you doing? How can people get in contact with you?
Yeah. We have a website, obviously. So immersivelycreated.com. We actually just released an ebook for free. Has like marketing worksheets and everything like that. Teaches you about reaching your target audience. Very basic consumerism marketing principles to learn to kind of get started on your own. And from there, you can sign up on our newsletter. We drop it twice a month because we don't like spam here. And on our website has literally everything that you could need. It's got your services, it's got contact info, and all of that stuff goes directly to me. So I see all of that.
That is awesome. That is awesome. Is that yours with the pencil and the light bulb there?
Yeah, it's on my shirt too. See?
Yeah, it's on my shirt too. Like I'm representing.
I'm repping, I got to put it out there.
Yeah. How's that look?
Oh man, I think whoever made that did pretty good.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Too many subscriptions, we feel your pain. I love it. And then look, download your free ebook. I love it. Amazing. All right. So
I'm glad the pop-up worked. I'm glad the pop-up worked.
No, sorry. You knew that worked.
Yeah. Well, sometimes you don't know. You're just kind of doing things and you're hoping for the best. So
yeah. So that was awesome. That was awesome. So is there anything that you would like a final remark that you would like to leave with the audience?
Just that if you need anything, we do everything: copywriting, web design. And if you want a single service, like just a logo, we do that. We offer payment plans, very, very financially friendly because we get the struggle. And it's been great being on here.
Awesome. Emme, I've definitely enjoyed you. I'm wishing you all the success. And, if you all have some difficulty in getting in contact with Emme, then please just contact us. But all of her information will be in the description below. All right. Emme, it's been a pleasure having you on the show. Thank you so much for sharing your story.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's been great.
All right. So long. Bye. So you all got an opportunity to hear from Emme and Immersively Created. She is a wonderful, beautiful young lady who is just like she is immersively created. She is, and creative. And what she brought today, whether she truly realizes it or not, was lessons for all of us, from young to old, on how to deal with your depression and how you can overcome it and how your creativity can make a way for you. So find your passion and then create purpose within inside of that passion and go for it. Whatever it takes is what you have to do. You got to be all in, just like Emme. You got to start balling. And if you can start balling, no matter how high you go up or how far you crash down, you can walk away from that with the type of mindset that no matter what happens inside of my life, I got this. I got this. And take those lessons from Emme. Whenever it comes down to that depression, or if that thing tries to attack you, remember, start your preparations. Find yourself somebody to be an accountability partner, whether it's your doggy or it's your best friend, your husband or wife. Find yourself someone to talk to unload those things. Give yourself an affirmation and use hers. Her affirmation was amazing. And it was, it's okay to not be okay while I'm working through this. Can it get any better than that? Treat yourself well. Do good. Remember, as much as it starts with you, it starts with me. Peace.